Oh shit! There's a KFC near me now.
What?
Finally, there's a
KFC is
10
pretty
blocks
mid
from
as far
me.
as the kids would say.
Yeah, you want Popeyes or Bojack. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
get to
that
that.
doesn't, that doesn't exist here.
Popeyes is
Well,
way better
it
than KFC.
I went to KFC twice, and the thing that makes it interesting is that I don't know the fried chicken burgers. They actually have like some flavor to them. I guess it's
I
like
would hope that has flavor.
yeah, but like it doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes like the fucking spices they put in or whatever shit you guys do with food.
Yeah, you put spices on food. Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like fried chicken like we usually eat it here. That's the thing.
We do it right. Popeyes is better than KFC.
Yeah,
KFC
although
is
people say
best.
KFC is better in other countries, so maybe
That's also
Yeah, these things also all vary depending on the country because in the end they source the materials from where they are, right? But now I
here's
can
your pre-roll for you.
Maybe Argentina's just better than Ohio.
maybe at some things, maybe not others.
How do you even begin to compare Argentina and Ohio?
The crime.
God, don't start that.
Oh God.
Hold on. I'm gonna order something for later because I'm actually starving. And then we can
Wait.
for a bit. Sorry.
All right.
Sup nerds, welcome to Powerful, a Power Metal podcast. We're here again super soon after our previous episodes, which is like a miracle these days. I don't remember the last time we released episodes so close to each other. I think it's been like less than 2 weeks. It's less than a month for sure. And I'm not here alone. As usual, I have my good friend Kyle with us.
Hello again, Fernando.
And we have someone else this time, someone that's been on the show before, and you have heard her before. It's Alice.
Hey there, how are you doing?
How's it going? My friends, my good friends that you have been, we talked before. This is fun because we did an episode recently about Kyle's big metal adventure going to a bunch of shows in a really short amount of time. And now it's happening again. We are doing another one of these because Kyle and Alice and a lot of our friends as well went to ProgPower USA in Atlanta, Georgia. And I guess you guys had a blast and I cannot wait to hear all the little fun details and all the shows, the good shows, the bad shows, the good food, the bad food, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, hey, we had an incredible time at ProgPower USA. It was awesome to be back after almost 3 goddamn years. We've had these bands just, loaded in the chamber, just ready to go for so long. Like, oh man, I can't wait to see Rhapsody when that eventually happens. But we did it, goddammit.
Finally happened. Because for everyone that doesn't know, ProgPower USA is this festival in the US. Most of our listeners are from the US, so you probably know this, but it's worth mentioning it. That's been going on for a bunch of years now. It's a yearly thing in Atlanta, Georgia. And the main thing for it is not only that it's about power metal and prog metal, which is not the biggest thing in the US in general, but it tries to have international bands that otherwise would not play the country because North American tours are really expensive because of just how fucking large the US and Canada are. And sometimes you don't meet the amount of people in each city that makes it worth it to go for all the travel and all the cost.
Especially with the visa process, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other problem on top of it. And ProgPower tries to bring those bands for that one show that year to make it happen for the fans that can travel there and see their favorite bands that otherwise they might not get a chance to. And this, I don't know if you remember. If you're a new fan, you probably don't know. But back in 2018, we went there. I went with the guys, Then they went again in 2019, and then 2020. This usually happens
2020 and 2021. Some stuff.
This festival usually happens around August and September, and it got completely derailed, and it was rescheduled, I think, 3 times. And bands constantly, the roster changing, and now
the lineup has been in flux, to say the least.
Yeah,
The roster changing was pretty significant because every time I was like, please don't let one of the bands I really want to see drop out.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking.
totally.
Yeah, we did lose some bands that I would have liked to see, but none of the ones that I had to see. So I think we lost Brothers in Metal, I think would have been fun. We lost North Hill, which I think would have been cool, just to name a couple.
Yeah, but finally it happened. A lot of people had bought tickets already for 2020 and held on to them all the way to 2022. 2022, we're in June. It happened in June this time, so it was even hotter and humider than usual, I guess. But now that's it. Now I'm just gonna hand it to you. I wanna hear everything from the start. This is a 4-day festival, right? So, what's the deal with day one?
4 days. So it's a long, grueling ordeal, not for the faint of heart. So if you're going all in on all 4 days, which to me is the coolest way to do it. So day one, the chillest day. It's only 4 bands. I think it tends to be lower profile. This one, kicking off the whole ordeal, was Mind Maze from the US. We got to see them at Mad with Power last year. And I don't think you were at day one. Were you, Alice?
No, I wasn't. I just did 2 through 4.
You were not. I was slightly late to Mind Maze because I was doing some tourist stuff with Alice and the rest of Alice's team as we checked out the aquarium and the world of Coca-Cola. So, get a little bit of Atlanta tourism, while we're at it.
Mm.
But more importantly, Mind Maze, this melodic metal band from, I believe, Philadelphia area. Really great time. I enjoyed them when I saw them out of Power. Great time again here at this larger event. They've got some lovely keyboard focused power metal. Their singer also does the flute a little bit, which is rather unique, I think, for this style of band. It was really cool just to have a familiar hometown hero kick things off for us here.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
This led us into the second band of Klone. I think it's how you say their name. I get confused with all these big brain prog people are just they're it's hard for me to keep up, man. Anyway, Klone are from France. They're a sort of proggy, deathy band. I stuck around for about half of their set before having to go do socializing, which is another big part of ProgPower. But these guys seem pretty cool. Very dark, very epic and brooding kind of doomy style stuff. If you're really into that style, I think these guys would be a very great time.
See, nice.
Now, unfortunately, I did skip out on the last 2 bands of day one. Next up was Flotsam and Jetsam, sort of a traditional metal style band. I had seen them open up for Hammerfall a few years ago, so I wasn't calling that a huge loss. Last up headlining day one was Hypocrisy. I believe they're a melodic death metal band that I heard really good things about their performance from our friends who stuck around for the rest of day one. Meanwhile, we left to go get bougie Thai food and then do karaoke. Shout outs to Happy Karaoke in North Atlanta for their lovely selection of power metal.
Is that
our 3rd year going to the same karaoke place?
Nice. It's a nice place. It was.
Yeah.
It was a pretty a bit far from the venue area, but it was really, really nice.
Yeah, you'll have to take the train up there or an Uber or a drive or something to get up there. But I think it's a hidden gem for the power metal fans that go to Atlanta.
Yeah. That's great.
Speaking of karaoke, so every year at ProgPower, a big part of the experience is the Artmore Hotel, which is the hotel right across the street that a lot of people stay at, and there's always a big late into the night after party. This year, I don't think I'd seen this in previous years. They had a station in a courtyard set up where a dude had like a laptop hooked up to a TV and a microphone so people could just do karaoke. And that was an extra fun addition to the whole after party scene as well, which we'll get to later in the event as you know, people might have partaken in this.
Nice. Looking forward to the revelations later on. This is like a pretty strong foreshadowing or reincorporation for later. We're just great at doing shows.
I would call it an omen.
An omen. Okay. Okay. So this is day one. It's a pretty chill day, I'd say, compared to the others, looking at the list that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, I think it helps to have a very chill day one. Like, the most common bit of advice you'll get about ProgPower is it's a marathon and not a sprint. 4 days is a lot for a festival. All the other festivals of the like American ones that we've gone to here and talked about on the show, like Mad with Power and Hyperspace and Hell's Heroes, those are usually 2, maybe 3 day events. This is a doozy at 4. in the Atlanta heat and humidity bearing down on you. It's rather nice in the evenings, sure, but when you're walking to the festival on day 4, you've been drinking, it's hot, you're feeling gross. It's an endurance battle for sure. So yeah, take it easy on day 1.
Take it easy on day 1, everyone. And what about day 2?
Day 2, we're kicking it off proggy style with the boys from Wilderun. Wilderun, I think, was one of the most proggy bands that you can get at this. They have an hour-long set that was comprised of all of 4 songs.
Man, what is this, jazz?
It was interesting because they showed off their live. They've never played a live debut of it before. Live before, but they played the unimaginable Zero Summer, which takes some balls to do live. But that's what they decided to do for their album opener for Veil of Imagination. Like, let's just start with a 14-minute song, and I think that says a lot about the band themselves.
Nice. And what was it like? Did they deliver the goods? Was it like a good performance or just boring? What's the deal here?
I enjoy Wilderun as far as like big brain proggy boys go. They have a pretty good variety of their style, with some of the very like the light chill stuff, the brutal heavy stuff, even catchier stuff, which you get in with Far From Where Dreams Unfurl. Their best song, which they definitely make sure to play during these live sets.
Yeah, that one was really good. I do think I really like Passenger because even though it is a longer song, I do like the build up and how it starts. They still start with it's not like light acoustic-y. They start a little heavier, but not like with everything layered up, and they build up to this very wonderful finale. It's a good song live, although I think a lot of people are not a big fan of Wilderun's recent release. I think Passenger really sticks out as a great song. It was their first single though, but they gave the video they posted on YouTube was edited and they cut up quite a bit down.
Something I noticed about Wilderun, and I'm sure other bands are I guess quote unquote guilty of this too, but they have a lot of backing tracks during their songs. They don't have that many guys up on stage. They don't have like a keyboardist or weird folk instrumentalist or whatever. During the like backing track interludes, you can see the guys just like very quickly like retuning their guitars for the next section of stuff.
That has to be written into the music basically when you do those changes, because if you miss it, you screw the whole song.
Yeah.
That makes sense. There's a lot of tuning they do mid-song, which I don't think I've seen. I've seen between songs, absolutely. Mid-song?
Mid-song is weird, and I would say not recommended unless you have, like, for example, I have in my basses, I have what's called a detuner, people call it, or a bass extender, which is a little lever that it moves the tuning peg and it just changes the tuning of one of the strings to a preset note. So, like, if you have it tuned in standard, you can move the lever and it goes down one step or down one half step, whatever you need. And then if you move it back up, it goes back to where it was. So that's a way to do it in a controlled manner. So you can do it Mead song. But if you're actually going and retuning, that's a bit more, I'd say, dangerous.
Well, maybe they like to live dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was a cool set that I think did a good job kind of just leading us into to day 2 here.
Nice.
Yeah, it was strong too. Evan Barry had a good vocal performance as well.
Oh, nice.
Featuring Evan Barry.
Featuring Evan Barry.
So I see here the next band was Seven Spires, right?
Not quite.
Oh, no.
Right before Seven Spires was the band Spectra. I think they were the last addition to the current lineup. I think it was after Northdale dropped. They were very quickly added back in.
Yeah, Northdale dropped like 2 months before.
Oh, that's close.
Yes, Spectra are a sort of like 80s dad rock, melodic hard rock, I think is what they call themselves, band from Brazil. That's also produced by Jeff Scott Soto, who will be popping up later. These guys were a lot of fun. Their lead singer looks like he's like inspired his look from Bono, particularly like with his glasses and just like, I guess, mannerisms. They were a lot of fun to watch, though. What was interesting is, so this band had like their keyboardist off in the background. I'm like, oh, that guy looks kind of familiar. I'm like, oh shit, that's Jeff Scott Soto. He's just back there playing keyboards. This guy's like supposed to be like he's relatively high profile guy. He's usually like dancing around the front of the stage. He's just kind of chilling back there. He eventually came up and did some vocals. They did like a Deep Purple cover towards the end, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So these guys were a fun time, for all the dads in the audience. You know what I'm saying?
They were pretty good. I think, although I missed Soto coming, I left mid set. It didn't grip my attention as much. He seemed a competent singer, and I thought that it was nice rock. So I hadn't seen Soto before because evidently I know nothing. So I did see the keyboardist in the back, and then when I saw him, like, oh, that's who he is. Yeah, far better singer. He's amazing.
Yeah, I think it'll be clear maybe later on why, when they needed like a last minute replacement, why this one was very easy to book. Then that brings us into Seven Spires, was the third band on day 2. Now, I had just seen Seven Spires on the Dragon Force tour very recently. However, they had a teeny tiny little show. For me, it was like 4 songs. So I was really stoked to see them get a proper like hour-long set here. And I feel like of the shows that I saw, this is the first one that like really brought the hype. I was down in the middle of the floor. I had run into some of my friends from Mad with Power and other like, I guess like newer power metal fans there. And all these people, you could tell they're just itching to see Seven Spires. The whole crowd like erupted and is like chanting along with the Wanderer's Prayer and like the title track of Gods of Debauchery. I really felt this was one of the first shows where the crowd kind of came alive, at least where I was there. Granted, I haven't missed a couple bands at this point. And also before the show started, there's this whole apprehension, the question on every fan's mind: are they gonna bring out Roy Khan for This God Is Dead? Because like they don't have to, but they totally could, right? But maybe they won't, but maybe they will. Oh my God, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? We'll get to that. Because this guy says the last song in the set. But everything before that, like I said, this was really awesome to get to see them finally do a full proper show. And for as young as Seven Spires are, I feel like they have so much more stage presence and just like raw musical ability than a lot of the other bands that go up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just so cool. Like it's like it'll just be like little things like Adrian highlighting like Jack or Pete when they do like a flourish on with their instruments, or giving like their drummer like a cool drum solo before Christophus, I should say his damn name, before he goes into the faster song for the Oceans of Time. They've got I think a pretty good set list overall as they kind of fluctuate between like the higher energy songs, the like harsher ones, the more power metal ones. You have the crowd sing alongs, you have the more brutal stuff. It makes for just a really excellent show.
Nice.
Yeah, I really think that this set list shined a lot. Although I think they're, when you're actually crunch for time, just to fit it into 60 minutes, even though they're clearly doing shows much shorter than that. There's still like some of those hits that you can't fit in there. But
they could totally go longer. Like give them a headliner spot somewhere.
Nudge, honestly, they had that potential because you're absolutely right. By the way, when you're like, you could feel the tangible energy from the crowd, like with Wilderun, which I'm a big fan of. The energy wasn't there from the crowd. They clearly weren't getting the same hype, even though Wilderun's amazing. And when they were on stage, they didn't command the crowd nearly as much as other bands. Actually, I don't think they did very much in terms of just standing there and playing, which is perfectly fine.
Which is what most of the prog bands do.
Yeah. And Spectra had at least some more motion, but not as much. But as soon as Seven Spires hit, it was in the air. It was electric. Everyone felt it, and the band felt there was a connection. And they haven't bet. That's better than like some of the other bands that I saw throughout the whole festival. So once we got to this point and starting to feel that, it was good, and they absolutely delivered.
That's great. I was looking forward to the show and I didn't even go.
You're just happy for its existence, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian kicked ass too. So
yeah.
amazing.
The way that she goes from like crazy high like power metal screams down into like the brutal like growling just so quick. Like, is that healthy? I assume she's doing an okay job.
She's doing it. She's doing it correctly. Because it's not easy, and you can do it wrongly, and you can cause damage. But she's good at what she does. She does everything properly, and you can tell. And everyone should check it out when she streams on Twitch. She streams the practice sessions before the tours. I guess she won't be doing it now because she's going on tours now. But when she does it, you need to catch it because you get a little look and listen into how she prepares for everything and how she works through the songs and how she works to get to that level of performance consistently.
Yeah, I always enjoy her streams when I manage to catch them.
Yeah, and it's not just, you have some people who have like depth on multiple like levels, like Evan Barry, who had this wonderful soft clean voice but also these powerful harshes. And then you have some people that are good. They've got a good soft voice, but a really powerful, clean voice too. And then you have Adrian, who not only can do, the softer stuff like in Sickness and Health, or the powerful stuff like she did in Oceans of Time, but you also have harshes. It's not just like they can do both of these things well. There's more than two things. It expands out into everything, and that her level of competence in every form of like style of singing, just that's probably the most astounding thing on at least from what I've heard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we harp on about Seven Spires a lot, but I really can't get enough of them. So fuck it.
Yeah. But the question.
Speaking of which, yes, the question is this god dead? You bet your ass this god is dead because they play their big old chonker of a song. They close the set with it. You could feel everyone around us like, oh my god, because Roy Khan comes in like a couple minutes into the song on the studio version, and lo and behold, at that point in the song, Roy Khan comes out, the crowd erupts. I was filming this part on my phone, and you could hear the guy next to me going like, "Oh my fucking god, he's here!" And just everyone's like just freaking out. I hugged the dude next to me. It was a magical moment. Shout out to TJ.
When they started playing the song, I accidentally picked up Stella.
Well, that must have been great because I assume for a lot of people there, that's their first time seeing Khan live in a long time or ever.
Or ever for me, yeah.
He hasn't performed in the US for what, 12 years?
Probably since Camelot.
Yeah, I'm so what? 12 years. And then this is his first show back to the US. What's happened in 12 years? Don't answer that.
Let's not get into that.
we went from the iPod to the iPhone 11, I think.
Yeah, we got old. We grew up.
Yeah.
With Roycon coming out and all of the noise of the crowd, I couldn't tell at first, like, is his mic off? Or I can't really feel like I hear him.
Oh no.
Turns out, yeah, classic ProgPower. Turns out there was some audio issues with Roycon's mic the first, 30 seconds that he was out there. When I was talking to the band after the fest that day, they said like they could hear him in their monitors, so they had no idea anything was like wrong. It was just like the front of the house sound stuff was different than the stage monitors. So if you watch the videos on YouTube of this song, there's a few from like different angles. You can almost like hear the volume fluctuating in the first however many seconds, and then it kind of gets fixed later on. So it is a little bit tainted, but it's live music and they still did it and it still basically worked in the end. So fuck it. It was amazing. For me, having Roycon come out was like the moment of the festival for me.
It was the same. As soon as I saw him,
Nice.
Roy.
Roy's our boy, as they say.
That's so great. Such a good thing to experience, because we've been thinking about that, like if they were gonna do it since I mean when did Seven Spires got added to the ProgPower?
When Seven Spires
rosters?
got announced, I forget. It was months. It was months ago.
It feels like forever ago.
Guys, Roy Cont's was already the day after.
Yeah.
What if? And then like everyone's like, don't give me hope. And I'm like, no, they have to do it. It's the only time they can.
Yeah, like what are the odds of this ever happening again? Roy's, fucking off back to Norway or whatever. Like Seven Spires are going back to like, Boston and Texas and everything. Like, what are the odds they're going to actually get back together for Roy to sing for like a minute's worth of music?
Yeah.
Like it was this. This was the time.
And I can only imagine what it was for them and for Adrian, who like Can and his music and with Camelot and everything. It's such an inspiration to them, and not just getting to like have him on the track, but also then perform the track live. Must have been amazing.
Oh yeah, that's one you're never gonna forget.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Great show. Then that's such a good thing that happened. But we have like 2.5 days more of festival after this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the things don't end. It doesn't end here. What did you get after Seven Spires? Did you guys stay for all the bands on first day?
I did.
I got some pizza.
I saw Pain of Salvation though.
Oh, okay, you saw Pain of Salvation.
So I must first preface this with I listened to a few tracks. It's actually back when Ed was still in the Discord.
Oof.
And initially, I was gonna skip this band, but a few tracks were picked, and I'm like, okay, I'll listen to them in full, and then later I'll listen to them in full. I never actually got around to it, so I'd only heard 2 or 3 songs by them, and then they're gonna perform The Perfect Element in full, and I'm like, well, you know what? I heard from a very wise man that sometimes the best way to experience a band is just to hear them live. So if it got close to the festival, I'm like, you know what? We're all going to commit. I'm going to see this whole set. Maybe if it's awful, we'll duck out early. But I'm glad I saw them. Daniel Gildenlow, the vocalist, is incredibly talented.
Nice.
Like, I did not realize how much he was going to be bringing in, like, not just range, but just all of the proficiency in his voice and control. It's such an interesting album, too. In the middle of the set, my partner and I both got our phones to hit, like, save on it, like, don't forget this song. Well, it was the same, it's King of Loss. And we both, I'm like, okay, I'm saving this because I'm listening to the shit out of this when I get home. It was a wonderful set. They had a good sense of humor. Gildenlow's fantastic. And ultimately, that's a really good album. And then performing it in full and having that as my first experience of it, I can say I'm a fan. I mean, it literally got me to pull out my phone saying, save this, I'm listening to more of this. I can't even get an hour into your set before I'm like, I need more of this. no, I know we've got more time, but I'm going to need more of this. Just the knowledge, the confidence to say like this was good. I mean, that's some good performers, and not only that, but interesting songs too. It's not just the same kind. They had some interesting decisions in some of the songs, but ultimately, I think it gave the album a lot of variety as a result, instead of just hey, here's the same song over and over again, which some bands end up doing.
Nice. That's great that it paid off to go and experience a new band like this. I'm definitely gonna check out that album since you talk so highly about it.
Yeah, it's very proggy, but it's good.
I think anytime a band is like, we're going to play this album in its entirety, that it's usually, and people are okay with it, it's usually an endorsement.
Yeah, true. Nice. That's very nice. And then I assume you went back, Kyle, for the next band, according to this.
Of course I went back. If I didn't, you would have had to, hunt high and low to track me down, wouldn't you?
What a headliner to have. Stratovarius. And
oh man,
when was the last time? Did you guys ever see Stratovarius before live?
No,
Never.
I never seen them. I'm not sure of when the last time they came to the US was. It must have been long fucking time ago.
They actually made a point that this was like, well, I mean, at the time it was a US exclusive because Stratovarius had no plans to tour with that album. So who knows the next album, but it seemed that they had for at least the past couple, they've been avoiding the US possibly due to popularity issues, but they brought it.
Oh yeah, this was like we talked about Seven Spires being a hype show. Now this was a hype fucking show. Like Stratovarius, when you have these bands who are, legendary status, like pillars of the genre, they've been doing this for decades, even with, lineup changes over the years, whatever. Like these guys know how to do a fucking power metal show. They know what the fans are there for. They know how to control them. They know how to entertain them, know how to engage them. All the stupid little things like at a concert, the haze, the woes, having fans sing along to the melody, extending like the choruses of popular songs. Like how many times do they do like the chorus of like Eagle Heart or Hunting High and Low? I don't know. It was a lot, but it was sick. I loved it.
Yeah, during the final Eagle Heart double chorus, they made it a quadruple chorus instead.
Oh yeah, because if the crowd is going, you don't want to stop them. You gotta indulge the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kick off your show with Eagle Heart with a quadruple chorus at the end. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was super great. And not only that, although I did want to hear a little bit more of the recent material, which I love, but they're definitely for different reasons. I'm glad they played one of them, like Shine in the Dark, which I found out is actually co-written by Jani Liimatainen.
I didn't know that. Oh, shit.
Cool.
Yeah, and now you know. Which is like, man, I've always loved this song. So when I looked that up later, I'm like, aha, because I knew he co-wrote 3 songs on that album. And I do wonder on the new album they just announced if he's going to be co-writing on that. But we can get into that another time. But playing one of those was like, all right, thank you for at least a new taste. But a lot of it was basically, you like our old bangers? We're just going to bring all the bangers out.
Yeah, I can see here.
Like between Destiny, Hunting High and Low, Phoenix, Eagle Heart, Black Diamond, come on.
Yeah, I can see here that they posted the set list in the ProgPower USA Facebook. And it's like banger town, like Eagle Heart, Phoenix, Shine in the Dark, Against the Wind, a bass solo doing Kiss of Jonas. I don't know what that is. Honestly.
They actually did the Kiss of Judas too. They would do like a solo into a song, and they did like a bass solo into Kiss of Judas.
And then Paradise, 4,000 times, SOS, Destiny, Black Diamond, Forever, Speed of Light, Unbreakable, and Hunting High and Low. It's like...
Yeah.
Non-stop
bangers for like over an hour and a half. It was incredible. Like, I didn't think they were going to play like Destiny. Like, cause I'm like, that's kind of a long song. I don't know if they fucking did it.
But they have a headliner show.
The Mad Lads.
Yeah.
They have a headliner show. They can do it.
And this is, this reminds me, we had to talk about this, Alice, like in 2019. I went to see Stratovarius in 2019. They played Argentina. They were doing a Latin American tour. And I remember back then there was general talk of people saying that, well, Stratovarius the vocals are not that good live, or he's not as great, blah blah blah. And then I went to see him, and like those vocals were great, and I was like, Alice, you gotta catch Stratovarius whenever you can, because the vocals are working perfectly fine live.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good. Here's the weird part. Like, I know I was a little picky back in 2019 during the ProgPower when I was like going through all the vocalists. But even the worst vocalist this time had a great performance. So I'm glad, because we had a couple people like last time that I'm like, either they were like pulled in the last second, or I don't know. There were definitely a couple of dud performances. We didn't have any duds this time. Timo was still one of my least favorite vocalists. But at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, he was good. Like, I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly impressed. Although I had higher expectations going in, knowing that, like you said, he's pretty competent. And I'm like, oh fuck, no, this was really good. It was the whole time I wasn't thinking, oh, the whole time I was just thinking, oh, this is banger, 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 banger. And then, oh my god, that was amazing. That's all I was thinking of. And any of those thoughts in my head have been dispelled.
Nice, great.
And as far as like watching the actual show, like these musicians, they make it look so easy. Like seeing Jens up there on the keyboards, this dude's a legend in like the power metal scene for keyboards, and he's doing these crazy solos. Getting to see him do it live, watching like the guitar solo for Speed of Light. Well, their guitarist is just making like funny faces at the crowd. It's like, I don't know how they do it, but they do, and it's sick as hell.
Watching Jens just make faces while doing the keyboard solo stuff, or as from someone who plays the keyboard, going like, oh wow, that's so much concentration. It doesn't even look like he's concentrating; it's just happening.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best to see.
The true professionals there, if you will. I love the way they like teased out the intro of Black Diamond, where he like changed it to like that like keyboard sound, and then just did like 2 notes at a time, it's like da-da, just to like get the crowd going.
Changing it to that harpsichord and then doing those. As soon as he did that, I'm like, I heard it. I'm like, I know it. I know what they're doing. And there's such a tease. It's beautiful.
And what a great show. It sounds like a great show. I know I am just thinking of my experience with the Stratovarius show back in 2019, which was great. And I'm sure you guys had it just as great, if not better.
Yeah. I was right up front for the Stratovarius show. And like the cool thing about ProgPower is it's the quote unquote big festival for the US, but it's still pretty intimate. Even the furthest seat is still closer than like a close person at like a big European festival. So you're pretty much always like quote unquote close to the band, and it's easy to relatively easy to be the first couple rows, and it really just makes it feel like this special experience.
Yeah, definitely. Man, that's great. And it doesn't end there, as we said.
Oh no!
Oh man,
that was just day 2.
It was just warming up, basically. Because we got day 3 on Friday. I know this is the one that you are looking for the most, I think, Alice.
Yep.
So tell us, I want to know everything about the show, the Conception show.
We got to get to the Conception show.
It's not
we got
the
a whole
next
day
one?
ahead of that.
Oh, really?
Well, it's the whole. They were the headliner.
Oh, they were the headliner. Oh,
yeah.
Man, that's great. Okay, so we have like, 5 bands before? Oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah. So day 3 and 4 are the longer days. So at this point, you've already had a couple days of shows and partying or whatever. And it just gets harder because instead of starting at like 4 o'clock, it's starting at like 2 o'clock. So you're up all night doing shows and partying. You spend all morning sleeping. You force yourself out of bed. You get some breakfast. Boom, you're back in it for the shows. So this is part of what makes ProgPower difficult. Thank God you've got like, a decent amount of time between bands. You've got the seats for, sitting down for, the chiller bands or the ones you're not as hyped for. So you can kind of, space out your day accordingly. Because, this is when you're starting to get into the thick of it here. And we started off day 3 with the Cyberiam, which is sci-fi prog dad rock. They are very, very inspired by Rush, I think is fair to say, as they self-admitted to having a song that is 21 minutes and 12 seconds long. They had monitors with sci-fi shit on them throughout their show. They had a keyboardist. I think they were the only keytar of the show that I saw, as well as a guy with a spinny keyboard, which I like the spinny keyboard stage tactics. These guys were fun. It was a nice little like way to ease into the day, especially with what comes after. To have something a little more chill at first. I appreciated the musicianship of this one.
Cool.
It's a damn shame that our friend Ben, who is a Rush mega fan, the 1 year he doesn't go to ProgPower is the year they have a fucking Rush cosplaying band.
Yeah.
But such is life, I suppose.
Yeah. Stuff doesn't line up all the time, sadly.
After the Cyberium, that brought us into Aether Realm. The lovely redneck Vikings from North Carolina. We've seen Aether Realm before. I've seen them supporting most of the time for other bands. This is my first time seeing them get like a long-ish set of an hour. And my God, what a contrast from the Cyberium. Going from chill dad rock to like hardcore mellow death. Let's go. Kicking off with the title track of Redneck Vikings from Hell. And my God, that song is so good as a set opener. Like, it is just instant hype, instant high energy. I don't know if there's a better like first song. Well, okay. There might be.
It's so hard to compete with that just because of the energy it has. Not only that, but like how they own that song is like, you know, their own, instead of just like, hey, here's a song about like blah. It's like, no, here's a song about us.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's not only about them, but it feels easy to identify with the message of like, doesn't matter where you're from, we can all just have a great time. And it's about having a great time, and it kicks ass. There's just so much about it that just makes it the perfect opener.
Yeah, it's not about where you're from or how you're raised. It's about if you know how to fucking party. And we're here to fucking party. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamal started the pit there again.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of pitting during Aether Realm. I think this was the first like pitting that I saw at the fest. I'm assuming there was some during Hypocrisy.
Strato had some big ones.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I Strato had some big pits going. I was at the front, so I didn't really see it.
Black Diamond's pit was like the biggest up until like what was it?
Holy Thunder Force, probably, but that's getting ahead of ourselves.
I think it was Holy Thunder Force. Jeez, that one hit. I wasn't even close to the pit and I got there, but we can keep on at the realm.
So yeah, Aether Realm was lit. We even got some of our non-pitting friends to jump in for just a second into the Redneck Vikings pit.
Nice.
That's how special that pit was. Shout outs to Eric. So one of my favorite things about Aether Realm's live performance, just with how charming Jake and the rest of the guys can be, the way, like the fun ways they like lead into their songs. Like before Guardian, for example, Jake's like, "Are you ready for a fast song? Yeah, a brutal, heavy song. Yeah, a satanic song. Yeah. Well, this is a slow song about helping your friends. It's like, all right, we're gonna do that too."
Oh, that was great. They're really good. They're good stage folk too. They're incredible performers. They know how to set things up. And
Jake does so much like jumping and spinning around while slapping the bass and flipping his hair everywhere.
Yeah, it makes it fun to watch.
Ran into Jake at the after party and his voice was like gone that day. Oh man! And his birthday was the next day, which is cute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have the same birthday. Yay.
Which is also cute. Speaking of cute, so during Guardian, the aforementioned song about being with your friends, there was like a big line of like nearly 20 guys strong, all their arms around each other, headbanging in slow unison to the to Guardian. It was beautiful. I was there.
Nice.
Oh, there's also some there was the rowing pit at one point during this. Was that the only bit of rowing on the ground that we got during the whole fest?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the rowing.
There was rowing. I was there. Even they're Viking themed, I guess, and so fuck it, do the rowing thing because metal. It's weird.
People are so weird. They are.
Just go with it. Just go with it. It's fine. I think Aether Realm, unfortunately, was the first set of like somewhat significant tech issues. I believe the chariot got cut a little short, and then during one of their like in between times, they kind of had to lose a few minutes from tech issues as they kind of reset things. They did, I think it was a bit of an impromptu drum solo from their drummer Tyler, just to fill some time. Props to him. Another fun bit of Aether Realmness was towards the end. They're like, all right, we've got time for 4 more songs, so we're going to play one. Here's the sun, the moon, the star, which is like nice. A fucking like, it's like a 20-minute or some fuck off crazy length song. They did have to cut a couple minutes of like interlude stuff from the middle because of the...
they all they had to do was bounce the backtrack. Because they have a part where it really fades out and they build it back up, but it's real. They just cut like 2 minutes of backtrack. That's all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna still claim that I basically saw the song in full. So close enough.
Close enough.
So after Aether Realm brought us into Witherfall, which is a I guess proggy, sometimes mellow deathy style band. They had just headlined part of Hyperspace, and I wasn't really stoked on them during Hyperspace. I feel like by the time that show happened, everyone was just kind of dead and or drunk. This being in the middle of the day, a little more optimally placed. I was just sitting down for this one. I had to, catch my breath after fucking Aether Realm. And I thought they were fine. I still haven't come around to really loving Witherfall's live performance, but that's just me. Maybe I'm weird.
No, as live performers, I thought it was, they were fine. I think Joseph Michael is a fantastic vocalist. He did a good job. But overall, I do think the music doesn't lend itself to be very, explosive live. Like, there's some bands that can just, blow shit up because, when Black Diamond starts playing, you can't just sit still.
No.
But a lot of their songs, they played Nobody Sleeps Here, which I'm glad they did. And it was great. But it wasn't get out of my chair great. And their music, sad boy prog stuff,
sad boy prog.
Great. I love it. Super enjoyable. Doesn't lend itself to an amazing live experience. They did a good job. That's the thing. They did everything so well outside of the late start, and they had to cut a song. But so they had late start, they had to cut a song, and then even then, they performed everything very well. They did great. But the songs that they write don't lend itself to all that energy that you'd want from a live performance. So the songwriting kind of is what's holding them back from a great live show. Even though studio and listening to the albums, at least from my own experience, I thoroughly enjoyed them immensely. But I did feel like there's something lacking in their live stuff as a result of the songwriting.
Yeah, I feel like I never quite have clicked with their vibe, the 2 times that I've seen them live. And I don't know if it's just it's always poor context where they have a really cool band right before them. So maybe one day. I don't
know. There was an off-color comment about glad no one in the band got Me Too'd.
What?
Oh.
Are they at risk of being Me Too'd?
Yeah, I worry that they might have some possible Finburgers in there, but I don't have any proof. So. But yeah, that just saying that in the middle of a performance, I'm like, come on, dude, you don't want that's how you kill a buzz.
Yeah, that's not great to do, honestly.
Which is why we went and got pizza after this band.
After that, I had to duck out. So
yeah, we miss the Jason Bieler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra. I have no idea what that is. It sounds special.
I played some bits because I don't like to reject bands for my group, the Team Ohio, and say hey, we're skipping this band. So I'm like, hey, I've elected that this might be a good dinner spot, but I'll play a couple songs and see if this changes your mind. And the top 2 songs on Spotify swayed no people. They didn't think it was bad. They were just not worth. Although I could understand some people whose this style would fit better, it just didn't suit what we like to hear in a song. So
Mm.
it sounded like from the crowd that they were really into it. So
I appreciate that on the ProgPower website it says band members, Jason Bieler, all the things, and that's it. So
Oh, wow.
this Jason guy sounds very talented. However, I was hungry, and
yeah,
that's kind of the way ProgPower goes. Is like pretty much every day you're gonna sacrifice a band for dinner.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's a long day and they let
Oh,
you go out and bike in, which some festivals don't do that. So that's pretty cool of them.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of pretty easily accessible food in the area. Here, let's take a break before Conception to talk about food. So, the number one cultural center of all Midtown Georgia, Atlanta, is Whole Foods. Now, this was a new addition in the 2019 version of the festival, and I think we might have talked about it a little bit there. But man, this gigantic fucking Whole Foods that's like a 10-minute walk from the venue just has every fucking food you could want as like a quick service thing. They got pizza. They've got a bar. We were chilling with the dude there getting beer and wine and whatnot. Anything you can want. Like, you want like jerk chicken. You want pizza. You want sandwiches. You want like fried stuff. You want like a salad bar. Like whatever you want. Go to Whole Foods. Bezos has got your fucking back, apparently. All your festival needs. I've never seen a Whole Foods this fucking massive.
Yeah. That's actually ended up getting Fabio and Luca's the selfie with them.
Yeah,
we wanted to stop between that on day 4.
Yeah, like connected to the Whole Foods is a place called Farm Burger, which pretty decent burger spot. Great for running into band members, apparently.
Yeah.
Nice. That's also one of the coolest things about this festival is that you get to mingle with all the fans and also with all the bands that stick around to see some shows or are just hanging around at the venue and around the city.
Yeah, like I was talking to a guy who's like, oh yeah, I wiped out on my bird scooter in front of Roy Khan and Adrian Cowan. That's a great feeling. Then what else we got? I finally went to the Silver Skillet breakfast place, which I've seen shouted out like every time we've gone to the fest. I was there and Seven Spires was there. So, high endorsement. I think I had probably the best like breakfast ham I've ever had in my life there, along with some wonderful eggs and biscuits and gravy. Yeah, it was totally worth it finally going to that place. I think the closest food place to the venue these days is Da Vinci's Pizza, which was just always full of metalheads every time I walked by it the whole time I was there. They didn't have the food in the venue this time, so just, I guess if you want pizza, you go boom right there, like a block down.
Vinci's Pizza also had all of Aether Realm and then Ty from Lords of the Trident when I went there.
Oh yeah, Ty was really advertising Mad with Power while we were there, which makes sense. It looks like he just posted that they had like a rush of ticket sales like today, so I'm guessing it's all the people who like went to ProgPower and are like.
I'm sad because I really wanted to go, and I realized it kind of coincides with Toledo Pride, so I'm unable to go this year, but maybe we'll see like next year. I've heard he's really hyped about the lineup next year, so I'll see if I can fit that into the schedule.
And they're increasing the size next year, so is what the word is.
Huge. What he said, the venue is like 2,400 max next year?
Yeah, it's like doubling in size, or at least, or something.
Nice. That's very nice for that.
Yeah, I think they sell out pretty quick every year, so fuck it, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
But getting back to ProgPower, the actual music. We had Jeff Scott Soto performing a Queen tribute set, which I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. Why are they doing that? And Jeff Scott Soto said on stage of like, why are we doing a Queen set? Well, because we want to. I'm like, well, okay. Jeff is hot take. Queen made some pretty good music. I know. Hot take. And then Jeff is a pretty charismatic front man. So I'm like, okay, whatever the fuck this is it's probably going to be a good show. So I'm just going to grab a beer, sit down and enjoy this good time. And you know what? It was pretty cool. Because they played a lot of Queen songs, some of the popular ones and some deeper cuts. And they kind of played around with the style a bit with some of them. Like there was like a country one, there was like a soul like take on a song. On top, some were kind of like more upbeat and not exactly more metal, but not just
They
like an old
definitely
school rock band.
metalized "We Will Rock You" more.
Oh yeah. Well, he like fucking, because it's Jeff Scott Soto, he like starts the show like in the audience, like all just mysteriously while doing like a metalized version of "We Will Rock You."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like just from the very get go, this show is just fuck it. They're gonna have fun, and it makes for a very
It was
entertaining show.
Very
Nice.
fun performance.
Yes. So the earlier performance we talked about was Spectra featuring Jeff Scott Soto. Well, this was Jeff Scott Soto featuring Spectra. The whole backing band was Spectra, which is what made it kind of very easy for them to, I guess, do it the other way around when they needed another band real fucking quick. Because I guess, Jeff's got their back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not the first time something similar happens, because when we went in 2018, I don't remember which band it was, but one of the bands had to cancel due to visa issues really close to the date, and Jeff Scott Soto with his super prog rock band Sons of Apollo filled in the gap, because they just happened to, they were on tour and they were able to like do one stop in Atlanta for that day to play the show and fill up the gap in ProgPower.
Yeah, and they did something similar to the Sons of Apollo show on this one, where Jeff does the like echoing microphone harmonize with himself thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
his
cool.
thing. That's his thing.
God,
yeah,
that
and
was
it's
so amazing.
So cool.
I'd not heard of that. I was not expecting it, but all I was thinking was like, wow, this is, and it went on for a while, but I didn't care because it was so fun.
It's so good. He really commands those pipes, and he can do all those crazy
I have him
things.
in my top 4 for vocal performances for this year, so he earned a spot.
Nice.
So that brings us into the headliner for day 3, Conception, if you will. Because this is Roy Khan's big old prog band that he had before Camelot and then also after Camelot. And I was really interested to see where this might go, because like I'm not a huge fan of Conception's music, but I'm like, well shit, it's Roy Khan. I gotta see this guy fucking live, and more than just like the minute that he did with 7 Spires, as cool as that was. And turns out Roy Khan can sing pretty darn good.
Yeah, I actually thought, because I had seen him, and I remember the last time I had seen him live, which was part of their, I think, Great Pandemonium tour, or Poetry for the, I think it was called Great Pandemonium. Anyway, it was like, I think 2009 or 2010. And it's vividly burned in my brain because it was like, I didn't realize how important that was going to be, because I was going to see him for such a long time. Actually, I thought that was going to be his last performance ever, period. But seeing him back again, I think he got better. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, because I was expecting, like, okay, so I know they changed the key of Roll the Fire and maybe a couple others. I'm not 100% sure, but holy crap, he was amazing. His ability to go between the full voice into the very light, airy falsetto to, some of the deeper sounds, and oh my goodness, it was just it was a masterpiece. I already knew he was good live, because every time I'd never miss it. Whenever he come live, I'd be like, we have to go. And I forgot how good that was. Like, I knew it. I'd hear like, recordings, but there's just something about being there, experiencing it. And I mean, who knows? Maybe he didn't get better, maybe he did, but I was thoroughly impressed. I was in awe the whole set. It was wonderful.
Yeah, as far as
Nice.
like the actual performance, the Conception guys are very talented musicians. I wish their music was just a little more exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw a single person headbang this whole set, which gives you an idea.
I think like songs like Feather Moves really probably should have been cut. They're nice to listen to, but in a live setting, it reminds me of like the Nightwish thing, where Nightwish has a wonderful discography of amazing songs, but sometimes they sometimes, almost all the time, or maybe every time, I don't know. They're really good at putting together set lists that just have either they missed some things that were important, or like they ruined the flow, or why did you pick this song? And I think Conception had some problem picking the right songs for a live performance. Even though you're like, well, even if they're lower energy, they did the acoustic, they did 2 acoustic songs in a row. And that's about as low energy as you can get.
Yeah, it was like a whole
And
acoustic
those-
like portion, because they like brought out the guitars, the fucking like stool to like have the drummer tap on, and like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, but it's hard to also have that low energy acoustic thing, and then also have that low energy 2-minute outro song where Roy Khan just walks off the stage for 2 minutes. And I know Conception is a whole band, but any time where you just have the people walking off, and it's different if it's like blasting a guitar solo, that's cool, but it's just kind of a gentle fade as the song moves, feather moves into nothing. And great song doesn't translate live. Overall, the set was, in my opinion, really good, but there were a couple of choices that I think they could have improved upon for their song picks.
Yeah, and they don't do much to like really get the crowd going, I would say. They're just kind of there to play their music and have a good time, which is fine and all. But like Roy would usually just like go off stage during the solos, and they're great, pretty good solos. They're good musicians, but it's not like they're doing much to really run around and get you hyped up. When you compare them with the headliners of the previous day or the following day, granted, very different styles of music, and those headliners appeal more to my, obviously superior sensibilities. But it just makes for very interesting contrast, and I wonder what goes through the head of like the super big prog nerds at the festival who are like, their brain is expanding while they're watching their set, but then the next day Rhapsody comes on and they're like, no, this is too exciting, I can't deal with this.
I'm glad they had there are some songs that they played that were good throwbacks. I think they leaned a little heavily on the new material, which I really enjoy. But I feel like some of their best songs some of their best songs were made before Roy Khan joined Camelot. So that's what I mean by old stuff.
So pre-Camelot, basically.
Yeah, pre-Camelot is pretty old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but they they have some songs on like In Your Multitude and Parallel Minds that are so good. And they played I don't know, 3 songs from those 2 albums combined, I think. I'd have to check the set list again. They at least played Roll the Fire, but they recently redid that. That's what they closed with. It's really great. So I'm glad they at least gave us that. Oh god, that's so good.
They also brought out Adrian Cowan for a couple of songs.
Oh yeah, Procedure Good. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, and the what was it? During some of the acoustic stuff, and then also some of the non-acoustic stuff, having her duet with Roy, their voices really work well together. It's so sick. I liked having like the whole we scratch your back, you scratch ours thing. Just good vibes, very wholesome.
Very.
That's great, and that's like doubling down from what we said before. It's like she got to have her hero and main musical influence from what we've all seen. Not only play together in her set, but then she got invited to play with them and perform their songs. This is like, man, that's so good. I'm so happy for her.
I'm trying to imagine. I'm trying to imagine her feeling when she was asked to be like, "Hey, She Dragoon," which I off their new album, I think is their best song, and it's one of the best choruses they've ever written. They're like, "Hey, during the last chorus, we have this female voice singing harmony, a counter melody with the Roy as they add another layer to it, so that all of it's going on at once, which is wonderful." And they're like, "Can you sing that for us?" Could you imagine that feeling for her at that moment?
Yeah. That's so great. It's great. It's great to see that this band that we like so much, that's Spires, is like getting all these things, all these boxes checked,
Right.
and
Okay.
getting more well known, and getting all these very special shows, special sets, and all these things. It's so great.
Oh, I forgot to mention during the Seven Spires portion. So before the set, there were some dudes going around handing out like little like electric candles to like have people hold up during like ballads or the like "Let Me Be Your Light"
Oh, really?
Portions of songs.
That's so cool.
And then
I still have it.
I think I kept mine. Yeah, I brought it the next couple of days of the fest to use during ballads and stuff. So just little things like that. It like they have a lot going for them. These folks, there's a lot of hype for them. A lot of people wearing their shirts. I think having like the big nationwide tour with a high profile band, a month before this, definitely led into this very well for them.
This is excellent. Excellent.
Yes, and speaking of excellence, I think day 3 is when the Artmore Afterparty was probably the most poppin'. Well, it definitely helps that Conception said, "Oh yeah, we'll stop by there," because then everyone's like, "Oh shit, we can say hi to the Conception guys. We can say hi to Roy Khan," and they were there eventually. So I hung out with them for a bit. Nice guys. It's such a weird feeling to like, I've been drinking for a bit. Oh, I'm gonna go hit the bathroom. All right. I come back out of the bathroom into the courtyard. Just sitting there on a couch is Roy fucking Khan. I'm like, oh shit. So I pop a seat next to him, like, oh yeah, thanks man, that was such a great show, blah blah blah. Can I get a picture? Oh my god, it's Roy Khan. So that's what it's such a cool thing about this festival. Like the cool people and the cool bands, they're just right there. Go say hi.
Yeah, I remember seeing him, and I ran up to him because the whole crowd hadn't quite ambushed him at the start yet.
I saw you and Stephanie like booking it at one point. I assumed that was.
I had to grab her. I found him first, and I grabbed Stephanie later. But it was just so weird. It was like I was like trying to think of what to say outside of just thank you for blah blah. And I mean, just talking about his whole just everything he's done to contribute to the scene. Just make sure that everything he's done is known, and just how it's very much appreciated. And he seems pretty wholesome and humble. I'm going to be honest, he doesn't have the whole rock star personality. He seemed like a very chill person.
Yeah, I thanked him for doing the bit with Seven Spires, and he basically just started talking about how amazing and talented they are. So very nice guy, it seemed like.
He did say he did talk about Adrian a bit, because Adrian was 2 feet from me when I was badgering Khan, and I meant thank you.
How did you even handle that situation? You're surrounded by all these people.
And I went over to Adrian, and she recognized me from the Discord because I posted something earlier. Because I'm used to because I'm used to being hey, I know you, can I get a selfie with you? And I went up to her and I was about to say something. It's hey, you just joined my Discord thing. I'm oh, I was not ready for this. You turned this on me.
Uno reverse.
She's fantastic. She's a wonderful person.
Yeah, I didn't talk to her at all that night, but I did catch her briefly the next night, and just for a quick hi, thank you, picture, yada yada yada. Seemed very nice.
Yeah.
Also, as alluded to in the Fell Omen earlier, during the karaoke at the Artmore, my buddy Justin and I did Man of War's Battle Hymn at 3:30 in the morning after too many beers. So you can imagine how wonderfully that went.
Oh man.
I think we might have scared some people, but it's fine.
It's such a long song.
I forgot how long it was, okay?
It goes on forever. I can only imagine, especially being everyone completely drunk at 3 a.m. Some people crashing already from the whole day, all the shows and everything, and these guys are going on and this song, and then it goes slower, and then it goes fast again, and then the drums drop out, and then the clean guitars and the new section, and then it goes on and on.
Just the kill, ha ha ha, and you just do that a million fucking times. Oh my god! I'm not gonna say it was a mistake, but It happened.
Uh, it happened.
Oh my god. Also talked to Taylor from Paladin for a little bit. He's a cool guy.
Oh,
Yeah, caught up with him a little bit. Sounds like New Paladin is still a little ways off, but New Theocracy is pretty much done and is just being like shopped around for like labels and release bullshit, as is tradition these days.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Taylor, I think he said all of the solos on that album, so it should be pretty ripping.
Oh, I love that. That's exciting.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to the next video.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I like the last two, so this one I'll probably enjoy.
Someone made Aether Realm Mead.
I was just about to say that. We were on the same wavelength.
Oh,
Did you try it?
I had like a sip of it. It was good. It got some spice to it. It also might have dreadfully fucked up me and Neb.
Oh, I was drinking it. Didn't dreadfully fuck. Oh, I mean, I was pretty buzzed. I look like cocaine on my selfie with Roy. My eyes are so wide. I'm like, but I was like, I ordered some rum and some other like this other beverage earlier, and then Jamal's like, "Hey, I've got too many beers. Hold this." So I drank some of his beer, and then I tried some of the Aether Realm Mead. It's a methaglen. We probably don't have a lot of fans that are like, what type of mead is it? I want to know what Aether. Yeah. But it's a very interesting, very spicy methaglen.
And speaking of Aether Realm, there was a guy at the fest who was in Jake from Aether Realm cosplay, like literally like the same paladin shirt, the same flannel, like hat, hair, like necklace, the whole everything.
I saw him like 3 times. So I'm like, oh, it's not.
Yeah,
fake Jake.
He was a real nice guy. I was talking to him for a while. I don't think I ever got his real name. He was just fake Jake to me the whole night.
Yeah.
But he was really
He'll
cool.
forever be known as fake Jake.
Yeah. Another little bit of like wholesome solidarity. So Jake from Aether Realm was wearing a Paladin shirt, and Taylor from Paladin was wearing an Aether Realm shirt. And I don't think they planned it.
That's wonderful.
So shout outs to your
Wonderful.
Southern metal bands. All right, so that brings us to day 4, and I was hungover as shit this day. I think like the hangover from all the nonsense the night before, plus I don't know the Man of War, and maybe a bit of the ProgPower plague probably getting to me in the early stages there too, made me feel like absolute trash this day. I blamed it on my cursed double get-in shirt on Twitter, and I'm just gonna stick by that. Should have grafted it onto my body, apparently. But I did manage to come by and catch about half of the first set for the day, which was Arion? I'm never sure how to say their name and make it distinct.
I would say Arion.
And make it distinct from Arion, the Arion Lucasen thing. So Arion, I'm going to go with that. Melodic power metal band, I think from Finland. I was looking forward to this. I think they're a pretty solid band as far as studio stuff goes, but my god, they were really fucking good live. I thought they were much better than studio stuff. I love just like the heavy keyboard sound that they use on this. It seemed like every song was just crazy fast shredding. If I wasn't literally dying, I think I would have loved this set even more.
I actually had plans to go to this, but we went to the Artmore, and then it was suddenly we walked back, and it was almost 3 a.m. when we got back. Then I'm like, I forgot to take my medicine earlier in the day, so I had to like take that with food. So I like heated up some food, drank a bunch of water to make sure I wasn't hungover, and then a bunch of time had passed. So by the time I got up, it was like you have to shower and get to there in 45 minutes, and I'm like, that's not happening. So I'm sad I missed them, because that was one of the ones where I'm like, hey group, do we want to go see them? Because I think this could be a good show. And we were all dead collectively.
Yeah, this is where the long festival kind of can bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I at least got to see part of the set. I'm pretty sure it was their North American debut as well. I don't think they had played there before. Common thing to happen at ProgPower.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to all the guys that I cut in line at the bathroom after Arion's set, as I was not feeling well. And I had to do some, drastic emergency measures there. But nobody got pissed at me as far as I could see. Granted, I was beyond caring at that point. So thank you to the kind people of ProgPower in my time of need. And Justin and Eric for bringing me Whole Foods Gatorade for, the slight rallying I needed to do there. Speaking of thanking people, the next band is Thank You Scientist, which I think is like a very strange prog band with like lots of like brass and other neat little things there. I planned to see this show, but passed the fuck out, so I missed it.
I had also planned. We were still in travel. We actually, by the time we got there, it was 10 minutes before Riot, so we ended up missing this as well.
I heard really good things about the Thank You Scientist set from the people who were there.
Yeah. The couple people that I spoke with that saw it spoke very highly of it. So maybe I'll give them another shot. I didn't listen to them very much because the first time I was listening to them, I was like, well, this is fucking weird. It was so out there that I was like, I'm not in the mood for this.
Yeah.
It really, I don't know if I'll ever be in the mood for it because it's so strange, but it's at least interesting because the worst thing you can be is boring, but at least interesting, but maybe there'll be a time where I have the headspace for it.
Yeah, and like they have like violin, sax, and trumpet, I think all on stage as part of this show. So like they're from the US, so higher probability of being able to see them at some point. So I'll make do. So thank you for understanding. All right. I'm a real Riot, aren't I?
Oh God.
Yes, this brings us into, true steel metal band Riot, as they followed up Thank You Scientist. Another set that I had planned to see, I was still passed out. I consider that an acceptable loss as I had just seen Riot at Hell's Heroes, and they, fucking tore it up there. And I heard that they were fucking great at ProgPower as well. Turns out true steel is eternal.
They were good. I enjoyed their is it Michael Todd Howard, their singer now? He did a good job. The band was, I mean, you get what you expect. You didn't get much more than that because you really know what Riot is. They're like, we're gonna play old school style metal, and if you're into that, you're gonna be into it. My partner wasn't super into it, but once they started playing Thunder Steel, she still wasn't into it. But I was, holy crap.
So your partner's a poser.
Yeah, absolutely. She is. And we have to live with that. But Thunder Steel, man, I'm so glad they played that. And there's a handful of other tracks they played that I thoroughly enjoyed. But it's still, there was something about that harkens back to all that nostalgia where I'm like, holy shit, this kicks ass. And being able to experience it live, absolutely worth it. It was fantastic.
Excellent. That brings us into Ray Alder, a person I had not heard of, and also missed this show as well.
I also missed them because I left to go to, he's part of Fate's Warning. That's the only thing I knew about him.
Oh, people love Fate's Warning. People.
Yeah, people do. But I had to flee because I'm like, I had only eaten before, and then we were like recovering, and then we're like, all right, it's time, let's go to Riot, and then like, okay, if we don't eat now, we're not going to eat till after midnight, because I wanted to see Ihsahn. We don't have enough time between Ihsahn to miss any Rhapsody because we want to get. There's just no time, so we're going to leave for Ray Alder. And that's when I found Fabio, Luca, Alex, and Dominique getting a burger just at the Farm Burger in Whole Foods.
Jesus Christ. That's the spot. I'm telling you, it's the cultural center.
It is. So I got a couple selfies there, enjoyed that, but then came back for Ihsahn.
Yeah, I was, I think, eating a sandwich during Ray Alder. When you got like that like 7 o'clock-ish set, you really run the risk of being skipped for dinner. Yeah. So it goes. But that brings us to Ihsahn, Mr. Norwegian black metal proggy boy.
Yeah, he had a interesting set. Were you there for that?
Yes, I was just sitting down for this set. It was definitely interesting. It started off kind of just like really slow and chill, but then they got into some like pretty like brutal, intense, like melodeathy stuff. At one point, there was blast beats for like what felt like several minutes straight. So there was a lot going on with this set.
Oh yeah, There's what was there? There's that they had a recent, semi-recent. It's not recent. Oh, it's like ages ago now, isn't it?
Don't date yourself.
Arctis, yeah, No, I was gonna say like it felt like it's new, and then I realized it's 2016. Yeah, time screwed up now. Anyway, once they started busting out those bangers, I was like, because they started it so slow, and then during what was it? I forget the. It was after. No, it's the 2018 album. Anyway, after they screwed up. Not they screwed up. The power went out during the set.
Yeah, they had the most technical issues of any band that I saw, I think, which was very unfortunate because like there were like a few songs into like their faster stuff, and it's like, all right, let's go. Never mind.
Yeah, it was Arcana Imperi. That's the song I'm thinking of. So they're in the middle of that song, which was my favorite, the one I was most looking forward to, and then it dies, and they have to stop, and I'm like, oh no. So they're like, all right, we'll pick it up from here, and I'm like, please don't skip to the next song. But they started that one over, and I got it, and thank goodness, because I was, especially after that break, you needed something like that to bring people back, because people were so disconnected from the performance after they're trying to fix the power issues that you needed something like that to like punch people in the teeth. So yes, it was great. I love that. I think they finished strong, but I do think the first three songs that you need to start with something stronger. But outside of that, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't think they needed to start with as many like slow songs as they did. It just felt like kind of unnecessary compared to where we ended up later. I appreciated a couple of covers that they did towards the end as well.
Got an Iron Maiden cover in there.
Iron Maiden cover of Wrathchild.
Yeah, with the harshes.
Which is
Iron Maiden
really
with
cool.
harshes. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think when you can take like a classic song like that and then really put a unique spin on it, it does like that extra little bit of coolness.
Absolutely.
All right, speaking of coolness, the headliner for the entire festival was up next. Turili, Lione, Rhapsody. Like, these guys are legends in power metal. One of my absolute favorite bands ever. I didn't think I was ever going to get to see them fucking live. But here they are. They were here, and they're like, all right, we're going to do a set list full of old school bangers. I'm like, my God, this is amazing. Finally.
You finally
we
got
finally
it.
got it. They lead so much on Symphony of Enchanted Lands and Dawn of Victory.
They did so much Symphony of Enchanted Lands. It was sick.
Yeah. Oh my God. I loved it so much, though.
I want to mention we have a picture of the set list that one of our friends caught, and it explicitly states in the set list that there's 80 minutes and 42 seconds of effective music plus 2 minutes and 20 seconds of end credits, so around 90 minutes of the full Rhapsody experience.
And it's just the farewell tour.
You got the farewell tour. The set list, it says it's from the 20th anniversary farewell tour of Rhapsody, so you got all the classics. You didn't get a single new song, so you didn't see Turili, Lione, Rhapsody.
We saw Rhapsody.
You watched all school Rhapsody.
Like, I like Zero Gravity, but with this there was zero gravity. So you might say there was a lot of gravity to the situation. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, I'm not.
That's very bad. But they did. Oh gosh, they did a really great job, because although I did want to hear some stuff from Zero Gravity, it's different if they wanted to like pick some deeper cuts, but they're like, no, we're gonna cut all the Zero Gravity stuff and just like do the farewell tour, which is basically just, hey, do you like our hits, the stuff that everyone played the shit out of? That's all we're doing.
And it's so fun.
Thank you, Rhapsody.
Like, the crowd was just so fucking loud during this set. It's one of those where people know and love these songs for so many years. Like, they're going to sing every line at the top of their lungs. They're gonna like sing along to like the melodies of like all the different little guitar bits and all the keyboard bits, the choral bits, everything. Crowd is going nuts. Pit is popping the fuck off during like Emerald Sword and
Pit.
Night Right. Oh yeah.
Rachel, Stephanie, and I were actually pretty close to the front. We got up there at like a decent angle on like the front right side, not directly the front. So we were like out of the way. During Holy Thunder Force, a person, for me, out of the way, hit me, and then I dominoed into both of them because the pit had somehow spread so big at the start of that it got all the way up to there. And Stephanie and Rachel could have possibly fallen into someone, just one person behind the rail. So I'm like, this got so close to the rail that I was like, how the hell? Which is why I think Holy Thunder Force clearly it was that or Donovan. I'm pretty sure it was Holy Thunder Force. It wasn't the first song. It was later, but I'm pretty sure that was the song that got the biggest pit I've ever seen in that festival. Which I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I need to scooch over this way. And wow. I mean, it was absolutely worth it. That was the whole performance, Rhapsody, just their choice of set list. Obviously, they prepared the farewell tour so well, but Fabio nailed it. And I having not heard him do the, what's that? Something Platera, the little...
Conte Partido.
That one. Oh, it was beautiful. He did such an amazing job.
Yeah, like Fabio, I had seen him with the Angra set, but I think he really shines more on these songs because like these are Fabio's fucking songs. He's not just inheriting these from Edu or Andre. You know, God bless.
Yeah,
I love how much energy the Rhapsody guys have. Like they're kind of up there in age, but they're still running around the stage, like doing all the crazy guitar moves. They're all like interacting with each other and fucking around. It's similar to the Stratovarius side of things, where it's like, okay, these guys know what the fuck they're doing. They can make this look easy, while just being super hype about the whole thing. Luca is smiling the whole time while just doing crazy guitar shit because he's fucking Luca Turili. I loved it.
They are not that old. They look older, but Luca is
How
50.
old's their second guitarist? Because I think he looks the oldest.
He just
it might just be the gray hair.
That's
no, Gears is their bassist, isn't he? And it's Dominic.
Yeah, I think the bass. Yeah, Dominic. Hold on, how was the spelling? I'm just gonna look at Rhapsody.
He's 57.
57. Yeah.
French guitarist.
Yeah, so they are not that old, all things considered in the genre. They are not really old people.
Yeah, Dominic definitely looks old, but he's not old.
Dominic looks older. He looks older, but he's like the one that isn't like super. This is my look, and I'm keeping it perfectly in a way, like because Luca and Fabio have looked the same for the past 20 years. I think they try real hard.
I guess these bands are around like my parents' age. So it's like if my parents were crazy power metal people, this is what they would be. Which I guess, okay, maybe it's not that old.
Because because if you think about it, like I'm sure there are people that in some of these previous bands that we mentioned that are older than that. And there are people in metal today that are in their 60s.
You've got like fucking Halford who's still doing shit.
Jens is 58. God, he looks 88. Halford 70. Also an impressive performance when I saw him. So 70 years old. Yeah, so that's old. All that.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't call anyone old in this business until they are in their 70s.
Until they're dead.
Okay. Until they're dead.
Okay. That's pretty metal, I guess.
Speaking of pretty metal, I made sure to be recording during the guitar solo of Unholy Warcry, just so I could be like, look, Luca can do it, as opposed to other guitarists who might have played with him.
I have actually a hilarious story about that, by the way. Not related to Unholy Warcry, but the guitarist who does Unholy Warcry. Tom has been in a couple groups before he was basically forced into Rhapsody. But during the Manowar Rhapsody tour, I actually saw their opening band, Holy Hell, came out, and that's Tom Hess. Tom Hess played the guitar for that, along with guitarist Joe Stump. So I actually got to see Tom Hess open for Rhapsody back in 2006.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Wow. Man, and people question the Rhapsody chart, but this is the kind of shit that happens with this band. It's like everything is so interconnected and it's so hilarious.
I love the Rhapsody universe.
Yeah, it wasn't long after that I think it was they did like 2 more albums before Luca quit, but I think that was they started to Tom Hess was like forcefully added to the band, so Manowar could I think it would be easier for them to do visas with Magic Circle Music if they could have.
Yeah, they wanted someone from the US. Yeah, it was, everything was weird at the time. Yeah, but this set list is so powerful. The set list that you got, it's slightly different from the one that I got when Rhapsody Reunion did their tour in Latin America back in 2017, I think. It was forever ago, man. But this is such a good set list.
Yeah, Dawn of Victory, Emerald Sword, Wisdom of the Kings, Eternal Glory, Wings of Destiny, Knight Rider of Doom, Symphony of Enchanted Lands, a drum solo into Land of Immortals, Wizard's Last Rhymes, a bass solo into the Conte Partiro, Holy Thunder Force, with an encore of Riding the Winds of Eternity, Lamento Heroico, and Unholy Warcry. Like, that's pretty much every banger song, except for, I guess, Power of the Dragon Flame. Sucks to miss that, but I'll take it.
Power of the Dragon Flame and Warrior of Ice were the only 2 I was really missing there.
I wanted Reign of 1,000 Flames and for them to have the whole video up on there, but oh well. Maybe they don't like to acknowledge that.
No, that's just it's a slightly different set list, but the set list that I got with the reunion tour, it was Emerald Sword, Wisdom of the Kings, Eternal Glory, Beyond the Gates of Infinity, Knight Rider of Doom, Wings of Destiny, The Dark Tower of Abyss, Riding the Winds of Eternity, Symphony of Enchanted Lands, the drum solo, Land of Immortals, the Wizard's Last Rhymes, the bass solo, a vocal solo. He did Conte Partiro, and also he did Nessun Dorma back then. Actually, Dawn of Victory, and then for the encore it was Reign of 1,000 Flames, Lamento Heroico, Holy Thunder Force, and In Tenebris, and just going into the end. So
all right, so pretty similar.
The main point is this is the classic Rhapsody that everyone wants. Man, what a show! I'm so happy that you guys actually finally got it, because
me too.
The US is the one country they didn't go to, and Canada, because they did a whole world tour of the reunion and farewell tour, and it didn't hit North America, sadly. But now you got it finally.
That's very sad. So glad we finally got that.
Yeah, I was afraid I'd never properly see Emerald Sword live in my life. But damn it, I did now. And I love how they just kind of like how Stratovarius extended some final choruses. They did the chorus of Emerald Sword a couple more times at the end too. Just because, why wouldn't you? It's
why
beautiful.
Wouldn't you? The best chorus in power metal, as some people used to say. And why
I'd
not?
say it, fuck it.
It's such an iconic song for the genre. This is so great. Getting to see it live, it's so great.
One that I wasn't expecting to get was Riding the Winds of Eternity. That I really like that one. It's kind of a dumb reason, but I discovered it on YouTube many years ago with a very well made Zelda music video with that song. So so I just had that video playing in my head while they were
That's great.
Playing that song.
That's great.
For relatively early YouTube, it's very well edited, I would say.
For very early YouTube, I found an anime music video of Evangelion with Stratovarius' Phoenix, and I was like, oh shit,
Oh shit.
Nice.
yeah. So that's like when they're playing that, I'm like, oh god, get that out of my head.
Oh man, that's so great. That's so great. What a great show you guys got. That's amazing. What a way to cap these 4 days of crazy ProgPower craziness.
Yeah, like just it was so great to finally be back at ProgPower. Like it was the first like major, I guess, big festival, quote unquote, that I went to, and it's been nearly 3 years since the last one. So being back in center stage, just saying hi to the cool people, whether it's people that I met at Mad with Power just last year, or people that I met at ProgPower several years ago. Ran into James from Lycanthro again, and it's like, we last talked this many years ago. Also, I saw you at Hyperspace. That was cool. I'm glad people still remember me from all these years ago. I feel like I'm a pretty generic looking dude at these things. So it is cool just how like much of like they talk about being a family, and like, and it kind of is. It's just so comforting, I guess. There's only a few of these things left theoretically, but I plan to go to the remaining ones. And if anyone else is, especially power metal fans in the Americas, even if there's like, if you're like, I don't know about the lineup, it's definitely, I think, still worth going to one of these remaining few just for the experience, if you can swing it, like time off and money wise.
Do you think Ty will be able to elevate his festival to start reaching some of the bigger names?
I would hope so. Maybe he can get one, sneak one in every year or something. I think Madison is like a tougher ask than Atlanta, because Atlanta just being like just such a huge international hub and like a major city, and also on the East Coast closer to Europe, as opposed to Madison, which is kind of middle of nowhere even for an American. It'll be hard to, I think, get to an equivalent level, but it'll still be a place for this kind of thing to happen in the future, especially as it gets bigger.
I think it will probably grow, but it's more like the place to have all the North American bands instead of being like the festival for internationals. Maybe you can get a couple internationals every now and then, but it's mainly like the showcasing for the locals, the local bands. That should be the main thing, I believe. Because in a way, if you think about it, like, maybe I'm mistaken, but if I recall correctly, when we looked into it, Sabaton Open Air, it's also in a city that it's like difficult to get to. It's not like a super big international, right? It's not a super big international hub like Atlanta is, or accessibility wise. Like, you have to get into the country and then take another flight there to the local airport on there, or not even that, or maybe bus to there, stuff like that. That's the thing. It's like not super direct. There's not a lot of direct routes to it, even within the country. But maybe one day it can grow there. But I think it makes more sense to think about it as the big North American festival for the North American bands, and then every now and then being able to get one of the big international ones.
Yeah, I think that'll be kind of like a balancing act they do moving forward. With them and Hyperspace kind of in a similar boat.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it will be cool to take a look at the roster for next year. They do their cute little video on day 3, which announces the rosters for day 3 and 4. Days 1 and 2 still have yet to be announced. Those are coming in the next month or so, maybe. But for day 3 next year, we're starting off with the band Cryptex from Germany. I'm not familiar with them. Have you heard of them at all?
Nope. We'll see. We'll see. We'll check them out. People check them out, or maybe it will be one of those new bands you get when you go to the show.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you've never heard of a band, just go for it, because they might surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we've got Windrose from Italy, the dwarves, as they like to be. They were supposed to be there a few years ago. They got screwed over and had to cancel because of visa bullshit. I'm very excited to see that they'll be, redeeming themselves and coming back. I think they will put on a very fun live show as these like dumb gimmick bands tend to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
And they're like legitimately good folk metal for the most part.
Yeah, Windrose is for the people that like that folkish flavor, the triplet bass music, basically.
Yes, and then after them is Ad Infinitum. The Bonnieverse continues to swallow us all.
Okay, hold on. I need to stop you there. Is that really how it's said?
I have no fucking clue.
Ad infinitum.
Someone
Isn't
told me
it
that, and
ad
I don't know if I believe
infinitum?
them.
It's like, it's Latin, right? It's infinitum, ad infinitum. I would
Ad
say.
infinitum? Is that what it is?
That
I've
would
never
be
heard
Latin.
a definitive.
We need to figure
like-
this out because this
No, we
like,
don't.
this happens
It's
a lot.
funnier if it's not.
I know. This happens a lot, but this one really like just made my brain hurt.
I wanted it to.
Ad infinitum. God damn it! Like you say infinity in English. Why did you?
Because the last person I heard say the band's name said infinitum, and I thought it sounded kind of weird, but I just wanted to go
super
with
weird.
It is super weird. And like, it's not ad infinite. I always thought it was ad infinitium. I was like mentally adding another I in there. I have no idea what this band's fucking name is. It's the one with Melissa Bonney. They do symphonic metal, I think.
Yeah,
I was right. It is ad infinitum, by the way.
Oh God, seriously?
Do we have a source
I'm
on
dying.
I just went and took two sources to listen to them.
Oh, they say it in their.
I am incapable of. I can't. Okay.
It's a terminology to be like ad infinitum. Like that's so I heard it there. I'm like, I don't think they pronounce unless they pronounce their band differently. That's the English pronunciation of it.
Oh God.
Yeah, because that's like a phrase that maybe Americans just say it wrong, but they're not American, so fuck it.
Like Fernando could go on ad infinitum about the nuance.
Yeah, we can move on. We can move on. It's like it's one of the main bands in the Bonnieverse. That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marching on Versailles sounded fun. I finally listened to them for the first time. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
We are all Melissa Bonney. And next up is Green Carnation, which is a kind of a cool prog band from Norway. I believe they also canceled for this year's festival.
Yeah. They had to postpone.
Yeah. So they're getting their comeback here. I think this will be a cool one to check out. Followed by, we got a double dose of big prog here. As right after Green Carnation is going to be Caligula's Horse coming back just 2 festivals later. I don't give a fuck because Caligula's Horse was fucking sick when we saw them in 2019.
They're going to get a longer set this time.
Yeah, they're ultra prog from Australia, and they're fucking rad. They had a prog pit at the 2019 show. There were very few prog pits, but fuck it, they got one. And then headlining day 3 is Camelot. We're getting our boy Tommy Karavik back. I love it. I'm pretty excited for this. I've seen Camelot twice on tour already for their Shadow Theory tour. I know that they can put on a good show. My hype level for this is dependent on the quality of the forthcoming Camelot album, because they'll be playing probably a fair amount of that. But either way, I think it'll be a cool show. And I love me some power metal, and I'm sure they're going to play some good power metal because it's Camelot. So I think that'll be a pretty good headliner.
Yeah, they should be fun. They're always good lives. So it's going to be good. It's not a rarity. You'll be able to get Camelot. They tour pretty readily in the US, but even outside of that, they're a good performance. It's a good headliner.
Mm-hmm. All right, that brings us into day 4, which starts off with Poverty's No Crime, band from Germany that I have no familiarity with. So they will be a fresh one for me next time.
I saw one shirt of it when I was there.
That one person, they're real fucking hyped when they saw that.
Oh yeah, that one person, super hyped. Never heard of him. I've never even heard him mentioned in the Discord or anywhere else until then. So I was like, who?
They are prog metal, it would seem.
Yeah.
This is followed up by Shaman from Brazil. Shout outs to Andre Matos.
Yeah, I wonder how this set will be.
I have no idea.
Shaman is a good band. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, I've heard some of their stuff. I haven't heard anything since Andre died, But
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. Do they have any vocalists?
I assume so. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing. But I gotta admit, I didn't check. Let's see.
It looks like it is Illyrio Neto.
Cool. Can't say that I recognize him, but yeah, we'll check it out. And everyone that likes Sangra, you'll probably like some songs from Shaman. But anyone that likes that style, it's like classic power metal, rather old school. Just go. It's a good time.
I'm sure it'll be sick. Speaking of sick, this is getting followed up by Orbit Culture, a melodic death metal band from Sweden. These guys are fucking brutal. I think that's going to be a hell of a show. And it's going to be weird to follow up the relatively lighter stuff before and after them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Because given Orbit Culture doesn't seem to be very huge, and they're in Sweden. I had this in my head. Well, I'll enjoy their albums, but I'm never going to see them ever. It's just I had already had that in my head. So when they got announced, Justin and I flipped out.
Yeah, that's the one I saw you like get out of your seat for and just like die.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Speaking of dead, next up is Delane, a band
That's brutal.
that I thought they were dead. Like, that's not a joke. I thought they didn't exist anymore. Apparently they do exist and have the third to last slot of ProgPower next year.
Yeah, it's a big slot.
Yeah. This was super weird in the announcement video. It was the one video where they didn't just play a music video. They actually had like cut in between. They had like the one surviving member of Delane be like, oh, hello everyone. I am very excited to come play at ProgPower next year. And I'm sure that's exactly his accent. And I was just so confused during this whole thing. Because one, I'm like, I didn't know this band is still...
It reminds me of that thing, like, have you seen Clerks?
I have not. I'm aware of it, though.
But there's a sign he puts up because they can't get the thing shown up to make it look like they're open. A big sign that says, I assure you, we're open. That video had that same energy. Like, I assure you we have a singer. Like, there's a band back here. Or like, I don't know. Like, he was trying very hard to convince us. No. We exist. There's people.
Yes.
Like, show us. I guess that would also be Stained Hands.
Delane, the band
we
that...
see them?
If you went to a power metal show in the US at some point between like 2013 and 2018, chances are you saw Delane without meaning to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I only
opening
did
for
it
every
once.
show.
Yeah. It's that's gonna be weird. But you know what? It might make it entertaining.
Yeah, it could be entertaining. Also, it's a good dinner spot between Orbit Culture and Unleash the Archers.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point, because I'm definitely going to want to be there for Unleash the Archers.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've got the second highest slot. I love seeing Unleash the Archers just keep getting bigger. The crowd was popping up for this. Like, it's not like a special thing to see Unleash the Archers. They tour the US often enough, but they're really good. And every time they put on a show, I've had a really awesome time. So fuck it. Let's do it again. We get some more power metal in ProgPower. I'm always here for that.
Yep. Saw them for the first time last December. Very happy. Glad to see more of them.
Nice.
And maybe they'll have new material by then. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. All right. Then last up, headlining the whole festival, in the same slot that we had Rhapsody this year, we have Mireth from Tunisia. Now, I like Mireth. They're a proggy, sort of folk metal-y, sometimes-ish band. I didn't think they were the headline all of ProgPower level of good and popular, but I think it'll be a cool show. I wouldn't say I'm like crazy hyped for it, but fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not super hyped. I love day 3. Day 4 sounds nice because I'll want to go see Shaman and Orbit Culture. And obviously, Unleash the Archers is good. Mireth is... I'm going to try to listen to them more. I've not listened to them much. But the ones I had, they were pretty decent. So I wasn't like, underwhelmed by them, they'll more that they're like, no, that was good. They have an interesting music video, so I am cautiously optimistic about that, and I'll probably look more into them now. I just created a ProgPower playlist for 2023, so I had a few more songs I hadn't heard before, well, two that I hadn't heard before, so hopefully I'll get more used to them and maybe I'll really enjoy them.
Yeah, I think on all of these days, I've heard of all of the bands except for the opening band. And
Yeah,
the ones that I've
same.
heard of, like, I don't dislike them. And I know I either actively like them or think they'll put on an entertaining show. So overall, I think it'll be a decent enough lineup for next year.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's not like as important as it was to me this year, where I had like bucket list bands like Strato and Rhapsody. But
Yeah,
as someone who just likes going to this festival, I'll be like, all right, fuck it, this will be a good time. And we still have days 1 and 2 to be announced.
yeah. I was talking to my dude, Cliff, and asking him, like, all right, what can they announce that has you saying, yes, 100%, I'm coming to ProgPower next year without a hesitation? He had a pretty short list, and I realized my list is generally pretty short too. But eventually I discovered that if day 2 has Love Bite,
It's not gonna have
What?
Love Bites. It's not gonna have Love Bites.
it's not going to happen. But do you know what also I said? Do you know what Laro said? He said, conception will never happen. So
Galnerius was like out of nobody saw it coming. So
that's why Love Bite. No, if they did, I'm going to like die.
I don't know
It's
if you
obviously-
did you watch the actual video that they made, Fernando?
what video? The video
Exactly.
for the presentation?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the whole video, they always have like a theme for it. I think a couple years ago it was like a carnival theme. Well, this year it was wolf themed, and it's like these bastards.
Okay.
They didn't announce a single wolf theme band such as Sonata Arctica or Powerwolf or Love Bites. But it was in my mind the whole time.
I had in my head, by the way, Powerwolf as the festival headliner because of the wolf theme.
That would have been cool. I don't think for as like popular as with like Power Metal normies as Powerwolf is, like I don't think they've ever played the US.
No, they don't.
It's
So that was weird.
That thing that cost our reward thing.
Yeah, it's probably just they don't think it's worth the money or whatever, but fine. So I think day 2 will probably have like a big banger power metal band. So far every year that I've gone, it has. Unless they run into budget issues, which is possible. But we'll see. Overall, I'm looking forward to more metal and cool people. And that's what ProgPower is about.
Nice.
Friendship and metal.
What would you say was your favorite part of the festival this year, Alice?
I'm going to be in the minority here. Probably Conception still. I feel like I had a little bit more of familiarity with the Rhapsody material. That it had all the songs have relatively the same energy, and I know them really well. Whereas a lot of the Conception songs felt different because I'm like used to hearing like 24-year-old Khan singing it, now hearing much older Khan sing it with a slightly different arrangement. It all felt new. They made some changes to some of the vocal melodies that were clearly meant for where Khan wanted to add a little bit more flair. And I was just kept in a trance the whole time, which it's hard for me to get that. It reminds me of when I saw Galnerius in 2019, where although clearly Demons and Wizards and Seventh Wonder did an amazing job, Galnerius just had me gripped the whole time, and I was A-okay with that.
For sure. I think for me, like a singular favorite moment would probably be like the Seven Spires and Con stuff.
Oh,
I loved the Aether Realm set, the hype of Redneck Vikings, the camaraderie of Guardian, just making finally seeing Emerald Sword live, which Emerald Sword is one of my all-time favorite songs. Like, we asked people their top 4 power metal bands. I'd probably put Rhapsody in mine. And Emerald Sword's a big part of that. That was truly special. I think those would probably be my favorite band moments from this festival so far.
Seven Spires, definitely. That's going to stick around because I remember seeing them when they were opening for Dragon Force, and there's something about the venue, their set, that I was thinking that was really good. They have a lot to build from here. And ProgPower felt like an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the Dragon Force fans in Detroit where maybe they weren't as into it, although they clearly blew the next 2 guides. Firewind and Visions of Atlantis, clearly they put on a good show, but Seven Spires definitely kind of commanded a little bit more. But at ProgPower, it felt like they had already hit the next level.
Yeah, and considering these shows were a month apart, when I saw them on the Dragon Force tour, yeah, it was the first band in a tiny set list. It's all right, they can do it. They can put on a good live show. I'm happy to have seen this. Whereas now it's holy shit, they can really fucking kick the fucking ass out of a show live. And being surrounded by a whole crowd of people that are actively very excited to be there for Seven Spires, as opposed to, I think, the people at the Dragon Force show are just kind of, they're there for Dragon Force and, oh, hey, there's some other bands first, sure. Just seeing that difference so quickly was special. Very incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
What are you eating there, Fernando?
The KFC. Sorry.
Nice.
I was really, really hungry. I got a super, what's this? Barbecue, whatever. I don't know. It's fried chicken in a burger.
I think I'm going to get Popeyes
Nice.
tomorrow. It's your fault, Darko.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're making me want to get some fried chicken now.
I was really, really hungry. And it was getting cold.
Excellent. Well,
very unprofessional of my part.
What was your favorite part of the fest as someone who just saw us posting random bullshit in Discord?
Just seeing how much fun you guys were having between the sets and how completely disorganized you were every day, not knowing when or where to meet and just constantly missing each other.
Hey, we worked it out. Mostly.
Yeah, I beat sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's great to see everyone going there and just having fun. And even with the people that some of our friends that hadn't met before in person, and the ones that knew each other already, and just having a grand time, which doesn't happen often because everyone lives in different parts of the country and the world.
Well said. All right. I think that might do it for this episode of Powerful. I recommend you go eat some fried chicken if you're into that kind of thing. And thank you, Alice, for joining us again. You should check out Rage Badger Gaming and Rage Badger Music, because there's cool Gloomhaven and other things on those channels.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful for you to have me.
And then if you want more of our little tiny podcast, you can check out our Instagram at Powerful Podcast, our Twitter at Powerful PM, where we interact a lot with Doublegeddon.
And only Doublegeddon, nobody else.
Apparently.
There's not a lot of metal people on Twitter, but they're there.
They're there. And you can check our website, powerful-podcast.com, if you want to see all the episodes there. But of course, you can listen to them on any podcasting or Spotify or podcast app or YouTube or anything, and look at our awful art. It's all there.
Our amazing non-algorithm friendly artwork.
Yeah, and if this is the first episode you listen to, you can go back and listen to the others. You will see that there are a bunch of episodes where we just talk about something. Some have news that will be irrelevant to you because it's an old episode, but most of the episodes you can actually just listen to them and enjoy our voices talking about some random topic or some of our conversations with bands. And we're gonna have more of those coming and more episodes coming, I guess, sometime. I don't think we can expect a lot of more episodes coming super close to each other like this one. This was like a special occasion, but they are coming.
Well, we got, there's something cooking.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want it.
And also, if you're the person who picked up the powerful business card that I left in the bathroom at ProgPower, leave a comment, because I wonder what the fuck happened to that, because it disappeared pretty quick.
Yeah, great. You're gonna win a prize.
You win a prize.
You win a prize.
Give me proof that you have that powerful business card and you picked it up in the fucking urinal.
Comment, send us a picture of the card to prove that it's you, and you win a prize.
Alrighty.
And I guess that's it.
Yes. So until next time, stay powerful.
Stay powerful, everyone.
Stay powerful.
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 Everyone.